Hey everyone, Sherwood Small Pets here, and I'm here with my herd because I've been getting a lot of messages on Facebook or on private messages on YouTube and random questions and videos with all in regards to the herd, and I thought rather than going to long spiels and then have to answer them more than one time, I thought I would just do an entire video answering questions that you guys have asked me in regards to the herd. So we'll start off with the most common one, and that is, how do you handle the mess? And I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, actually, small disclaimer. Pretty much every answer that I give you today in this video is based on my opinion or experience. It's not by any means something to take to the bank in regards to your herd or getting into a herd or whatever. You have to remember, pigs are all individual. So I mean, even if you have one individual with a different personality, it's going to affect your herd differently. So all 5 of mine have personalities that complement each other, at least in enough of a way that they can live easily together. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now that we have that, hi girls. Yeah, see, this is what I get to come home to every day. It's pretty awesome. So the first question is, how do you handle the mess? Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you and tell you that my herd's cage is actually the tidiest of all of my cages. The boys, Robin and Little John, have the most space per pig because they're boys and I don't want them to have a fight or a falling out. And their cage is the worst out of everybody. It's not uncommon for boys to be more dirty. Their poop is bigger as a rule, therefore, and they pee everywhere. Whereas I'm really lucky in the sense that all of my girls use the litter box. I'm fairly certain it's because Lilo and Gwen did from the get-go. So everybody else kind of started following by example. But almost no one pees outside of the litter box. So I only deal with poop. And they only poop in the area by the litter box and in the beds. So, I mean, cleaning them takes like 5 seconds. So I lucked out in that regard, in the sense that the mess is not an issue to handle at all. That being said, it follows into my next question. Do you find using fleece too difficult? No. I find fleece is the easiest because I can shake it out. I don't have to, it's cheaper still, obviously, doing laundry. And I can put pads down in the higher traffic areas, and that solves all my issues. Next question is, how did you introduce everybody? So, my original herd, before Pleakley was spayed, was Gwen, Lilo, Phoenix, Bambi, Pleakley. At the time, her name was Clary. And the way we did that was I already had Gwen and Lilo living together, but everybody else was on their own. Phoenix was raising babies. Clary was Pleakley was in the foster cage, and Bambi was on her own in this section of the cage. So what I did was I made an entire mutual area in the kitchen, basically the entire kitchen, and put a bunch of hay and vegetables down, and basically just put them all in. What I ended up doing was I put my most frightened pigs in first, and then I put Gwen and Lilo in last because they were already an established pair. So I didn't want to put them in first and have them be like, okay, this is just our spot, because that would have been a disaster. So the only established relationship that was there was Lilo and Gwen. And basically, they all just kind of ate. The only one that did any kind of chasing was Bambi and Gwen, because both of them are my 2 more dominant personalities. I don't have a single dominant pig, so that's one thing that makes this herd rather different. Everybody has a role. Phoenix mothers everybody and gets in between any kind of tiff. Lilo looks out for Stitch because she's the newest. Bambi kind of does her own thing unless she's hanging out with Phoenix. And then she and Phoenix will actually snuggle right up in beds together. They will share. Gwen will share beds strictly with Lilo or Stitch. The odd time is Phoenix, but both of they're actually my bigger pigs, so they don't fit really anywhere comfortably together. But that's one thing that I've noticed is a huge change, is the fact that my pigs now share beds. Lilo and Gwen would never share, ever, unless there was an emergency, aka the vacuum. But they would never share. Now everybody is in cozies with each other all the time. I used to have put out 5 cozies, and now I don't bother because everybody shares. If somebody's in one, then passed out, then they'll go in and share. They don't. It's really wonderful. That's one thing that I love the difference in the pigs in that regard. Food and water, how does that work out? Oh, and back in regards to introductions, basically when we took away, it actually worked out really well. When Pleakley was spayed, we got Stitch or Bliss, and so we basically took her out, and the next day added Bliss. And honestly, I don't think anybody noticed. Lilo walked around for like a good 2 hours, didn't know she was there. So I'm really lucky. I have 5 very laid-back pigs, so that makes a very, very large difference. If you've got a lot of dominant pigs, like Carrie has her Titans, and it's very different dynamic. Introductions for her were very, very different, especially when she tried to originally introduce Isabella, which you can hear all about in her videos. But I use her as an example because it doesn't matter necessarily the cage layout, the cage size, whatever. It's entirely dependent on pigs' personalities, and if you have too much dominance in one area, it's not going to work. The other common question I get is food and water. So basically I use 4 food dishes. They're all big dishes. One is much bigger than the other, which is the one that gets the 5th scoop, and I have 3 water bottles right back there. They only use the 2. The 3rd one's basically an emergency. I don't have anybody that's ever fought over water bottle rights. Again, that's because I'm lucky and I don't have any dominant pigs. A common thing to do is to lay under the water bottles for a nap and circle it, kind of almost spoon a bowl. Stitch did that a lot her first couple weeks here. I think that was to make sure that she ate. But as you can see, she has no issues doing that now. There's another question I get all the time. Oh, do you like having a herd versus having pairs? Which is a very valid question because I wasn't sure. I thought, a dream of mine was to have a herd because I know that's a natural dynamic for pigs to have. But I wasn't sure if it was going to be too much maintenance, too much work, too much stress. To be honest, the only difference with any of their behavior is the fact that Gwen now has more guinea pigs to eat or to give haircuts, and they all share. Nobody claims possession over things. So honestly, I love having a herd. The dynamics are fantastic. I love watching everybody work and everybody relax. Once Gwen or Bambi relaxes, usually everybody else follows suit, which is really, really cute. It's not uncommon for them to all sleep in the same area, which I really like, and they all look out for each other. If one calls out, they all answer, which is really, really nice. So no, there's absolutely nothing I would do differently with my herd. If I could do all herds, or if it was possible to have one giant herd, that's what I would do. I think that's what I'm going to go towards in the future. But yeah, so that's just a quick little video on things common questions about my herd of girls. And again, just remember, these are individual experiences. Don't take these as rules to live by. Alrighty? Okay, well, I will see you guys all real soon with an organization video that you guys have all demanded. So, yeah, everyone take care, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye, everyone.